So it was basically analyzing Euro USD, like I had promised. So we had our supply area here. Okay, so let's just mark it up here. Here, that is an interesting area in which we will want to trade, and then we have a monthly high here, and we can come to a lower time frame. So as I was analyzing this pair, there was actually a very important story that came across. We're talking with one of my friends, and that is Vasili Arkhipov. This is a Russian officer who prevented actually the Third World War. So if you're familiar with the story, during the Cold Wars, and here we're talking about the US and Russia specifically, especially at the peak of the Cuban crisis. Remember, Cuba was the central point whereby you had the interplay of Cold War at peak. So in Cuba, you had the USA trying to influence the Cuban government, and then also the Russians. So that was a middle point where Cold War was peaking. So there was this captain here was in a ship, and then their submarine went rogue and crossed over to international waters, and that is the part of the USA. So when that happened, remember this submarine was loaded with nuclear weapons, nuclear torpedo. So when that happened here, the USA guys in their war machine thought that, wow, these guys now, since they've crossed into our international waters, let's bomb them. So they started dropping bombs on the two sides of the ship, on the left and the right. So the guys who were inside the submarine, the Russian guys, started to panic, and they were like, maybe war has started. So the captain, there were 3 people inside there whose consent would allow the launching of the nuclear. So the other 2 guys agreed, but Vasily was like, no, these people are not actually trying to bomb us. What they are doing is they are trying to send us a warning, because you see, it drops on the left and on the right side. So when these other 2 guys agreed and Vasily did not agree, then they did not launch. The question is, if they had launched their nuclear weapon, it was going to escalate into what is big. And what that thing could have led to thermonuclear war. And that is how maybe half of humanity would have been wiped out. So this guy actually saved the day by not agreeing to the 2 Russian captains who were inside there, because 3 people have to launch. So that is a big story. You need to check it out. Anyway, so so looking at Euro USD again here. So we have our high, and then of course, we have our resistance area here. So let me just be specific with it. And then, of course, we have our supply area here. So from here, we want to see how we can, this is demand, this is resistance and supply. So we can come to a lower time frame, which is the daily. So on the daily, we have this other resistance area here, and then our supply area here. So we can now come to maybe the 4-hourly, a lower time frame, and see how best we are going to trade this. Okay, so we have when price reaches here and then gives us a strong break, that's when we can be interested. Otherwise, we want to wait for what will happen along this region. Head and shoulders, support, resistance, or a double top do the job for us. So this is what we are waiting for to happen throughout the week. Okay, in that, yeah. But talking about Cold War, it was crazy. So crazy. So this is a hero of the day. Anyway, let me go. There's a movie I would like you to watch about this guy, but